Shalom, salams, greetings and salutations of peace. I'm doing this brief video this morning for those who are particularly interested in the topic of higher dimensions. And the reason why I'm doing this video this morning is because I want to address some of the disagreement out there in regard to what the higher dimensions are. There's different opinions out there, different beliefs, different persuasions. I've watched a few different videos, read some articles online, many great different viewpoints out there. You got some people saying the fourth dimension is this and the fifth dimension is that, and then you got other people disagreeing saying no, the fourth dimension is that, the fifth dimension is this. All great viewpoints. One particular point I want to make today is this. Okay, so first of all, what one person means when they say the word dimension is not necessarily the same as what another person means when they say the word dimension. There can be multi-dimensional uses of the word dimension. So what we need to do is look at the dictionary definition of the word dimension. We're dealing with semantics here. The word dimension is defined as the measurable extent of something or something that can be measured, or the aspect or feature or situation of a problem or thing. And so it's basically the different angles or viewpoints in how something is looked at. And there can be different angles or viewpoints as to how someone looks at different angles and viewpoints. So if we're looking at the naked definition of the word dimension, then we can go into different dimensions of dimension. If it simply just means a viewpoint, there are different viewpoints as to what a viewpoint is. The word dimension can be used in different contexts. For example, one person might say time is the fourth dimension because the word dimension means something that is measurable or the measurable extent of something, and time is measured in units and is counted after length, width, and height in our perception. And then another person might say, no, time is not the fourth dimension because time is not spatial and dimensions are according to visual patterns which occupy space, and every physical dimension must have time in it, etc., etc., etc. And what they're both not realizing is that they're both right, because both are talking about different dimensions but in different contexts. It's semantics. So the kind of fifth and sixth dimensions that one person is talking about could be different from the kind of fifth and sixth dimensions that another person is talking about, depending on the context. We can use the word dimension to mean viewing things from different spiritual, political, or physical viewpoints. For example, politically speaking, I could talk about seeing things from the conservative Republican dimensional viewpoint, or I could talk about seeing things from a liberal Democratic dimensional viewpoint. So when we talk about going into higher dimensions or different dimensions, the question becomes, what kind of higher or different dimensions exactly are we talking about? Point is, don't try to monopolize on what the word dimension means. Don't think that you're the only one who correctly knows what the fourth, fifth, and sixth, and seventh dimensions are and that everybody else is wrong. Just because you see one video where someone's explaining what the fifth dimension is, and then you see another video with another person giving a different explanation as to what the fifth dimension is, doesn't mean that either one is wrong. They both could be right. The point is, be open-minded. I hope I don't get people saying, well, what he's saying doesn't make too much sense because obviously when we're talking about dimensions, we're talking about the physical and physical perceptions of angles. And so if we're using it in a different, blah, 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 blah. Closed-mindedness will sink ships. This is Uncle Jay Spittums wishing you a blessed day and a bright night. Peace.